Hello, welcome back, and thank you everybody for hanging in there with us. Sir Waltham and Ocean here once again, casting the game of the intermediate upper bracket finals between Sakura and We Showed Up. They are tied at 1 apiece. And Ocean, despite what was at least productively a little bit of a rough Junkertown, We Showed Up is performing right now to meet Sakura. And we were talking about it a little bit during the break. We love that.
Yeah, we saw you see we showed up, get a little bit of an identity on Junkertown. They looked for those more potent and aggressive compositions around the Rhine segment instead of the Arista segment, which is the more consistent composition. They ran the Zenyatta to get the Discord orb, and instead also they ran the Lucio up some other point to play a little bit more aggressive and speed the Reinhardt into that double shield composition. So showing different and more potent looks of the double shield composition, and also showing a bit of identity that wasn't there before, as Sakura kind of dominated Li Zhong's tower.
Yeah, I'm curious now if this means that that We Showed Up has locked into Sakura, or even if it's just one of those cases where, you know, Sakura won on control point. Maybe they're just the better deathmatch.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility, but looks like Sakura have selected Hollywood, and we Showed Up have selected to attack first, as that's what they did the best. They attacked first on Junkertown, and they won on Junkertown. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I like when teams are a little bit superstitious when they think, all right, this is working for us. We attacked last time first, so we got to attack this time first. We just have to maintain that standard, like a little bit of a ritual. It makes the teams a little bit more fun for me. But as we look here, as you mentioned, it's going to be Sakura on the defense here. What do you think of this composition, Ocean?
Yeah, it's the worst typical composition that they were running on Junkertown defense last time, and they looked good on it. It's just they made that one mistake with Asupec in that last fight, basically. Realistically, they are set up to win this match. Their stability and their understanding of their composition is a lot better than We Showed Up, but they need to cut those critical mistakes out of their game and definitely rely on their support line a bit more. Long Austin and Agape probably being their best players. Agape looking really good on both Mercy and Bat, but Long Austin on Ana and Brigitte, so definitely rely on that really consistent support line would be a way to go.
We'll have to see if they can manage it here. We Showed Up rolling out with that Rhine Sigma versus the Ori Sigma. Once again, we saw that a little bit on Junkertown. The Accretion Hawk combo trying to come out does not land too much, but a lot of damage getting poured into We Showed Up. Their tanks not able to keep the rest of their team alive. Nova getting that damage in with a dynamite, and that's a quick fight loss for We Showed Up.
Yeah, you'll notice if you look at the kill feed, there is a lot of Aristas, so a nice hope from Sunbun. Allows them to throw the dynamite in there, and a lot of damage for the offense to deal with. They can't deal with it. And a quick fight win for Sakura.
Yeah, once again, We Showed Up going to be lining up to push here. They're going to get a little bit more decisively this time. The halt does come out, but the Sigma Shield to respond. They want to avoid taking this much early damage. Once again, they're going to quick rotate onto point, but that Ori is there to try to contest. Speedy's really trying to push onto that Ori. Really gets punished for it. Nightmare takes a little bit of a sleep, but they're not going to be in too bad of a spot for it. Now, despite the respawn advantage, it's looking so good for Sakura as this final anti-nade comes in and just helps the Queen up come through.
Yeah, if it's not a quick and rampant fight, then it's probably not going to be a We Showed Up team fight win. When it's these long and stagnant fights, the more consistent composition that Sakura has is definitely coming into effect, and plus their decision-making in fights and decision-making to win fights is just a little bit better than We Showed Up. However, We Showed Up having able to catch an off guard a couple of times, being so aggressive and so potent, they can continue to do that and might still have a chance.
Yeah, that Hall Accretion going to get forced out once again. The drop comes in from the defensive team to really get on that point. That Earth Shatter coming in from Zeta, but they need to be quicker. Nova keeps taking advantage of those very early kills, and with that, it's looking like We Showed Up just knows that they're going to be at a loss here, immediately backing up, trying to minimize loss.
Yes, he just surviving on that 17 health. And one adaptation that I'm seeing from the side of Sakura, something that I definitely talked about in the break, is they're playing composition that likes to play from far away compared to the composition that We Showed Up likes to play close. So when they see Goopy amp speed, they're walking backwards. They're kiting back, being sure that they cannot close the distance. And then once that amp speed boost is gone, that's when they go in. That's when Agape use that amplification, and that's when they go for the fight one.
We'll see if We Showed Up can recognize that. A lot of ultimates on the board, including some potentially crucial Dragon Blades autocon so close to theirs as well. Needs to watch out for Nova on that Ashe, though, who just seems to be getting all these early entry frags. We'll see if they can manage it. Once again, they do have this high ground dominance, as right now it just looks like We Showed Up halting into this media room, waiting for the speed boost to come in, and just as he called it, as soon as that speed boost comes out, the collapse from Sakura. It's looking so deadly here, despite the fact that Autocon brings out that Nano Blade, and Seta even able to get a pen.
Yeah, they do use a couple of ultimates though. They invest their Bob and both of their super ultimates, so realistically, they've only got the Supercharger and the Dragon Blade. However, that combination is just extremely potent. It's going to be so difficult for the offense to deal with it. However, they do have the Time Barrier. They do have one tool which can definitely help them. If it's time right, they have a chance.
Yeah, we'll see if they can manage to make it work. Sunbun getting burned down dangerously low, however, managed to keep up through some avoidance. Speedy takes down Azapek, though. That may have been the shot win that they needed. Nova, again, has not fallen for most of this game, and if they stay alive, they may be able to turn it around here. Taking that high ground once again, taking it down Speedy, one of those crucial DPS players for that team. Nova trying to find this advantage, takes down Kangri with a mid-air shot. That was pretty incredible, and Sakura able to hold here despite the odds starting out.
Yeah, Nova, it was just absolutely insane. That fight and clutches the round for Sakura. Azapek down, who even cares? Nova flanks the round, kills the McCree next. Sure, they win the battle for the high ground, wins the hit scan battle, and then two really quick flick shots onto the supports, wins them the fight, and could easily win them the map.
Yeah, it is now looking pretty grim for We Showed Up. Junkertown looks like things might have started to, pirouette onto the favor of We Showed Up, but now it's going to be tough. The best they can do is a draw, and that's never a situation you want to be in as a team.
However, in this sort of format where it's first to three, a draw isn't all that bad. So if you draw this map, you just go on to the next one. No update really to the score. However, it's all the best for your mental state in the match and making sure that you feel confident. Oh, we can only draw this. It's not possible for the win. It doesn't feel great when you're going into that situation, but you've got to make the most of it. You've got to go for that draw. Think about, we draw this, it's just a reset. It's 1-1 still, we can get back into this series. However, if you lose this map, it's match point to Sakura, and that is always a lot of pressure.
Yeah, never really a spot you want to be in. And I want to take this opportunity to highlight Nova. I feel like they were a real key player there. I don't think I saw them die at all during that defense phase. Able to build up and get that early damage is so crucial for this team.
Yeah, they just seem to have the more stable composition, this more stable understanding. It's just when they do get caught off guard, which they haven't, to be fair, they haven't got caught off guard this map. That's been the story of this map and the story of the series. When they were caught off guard in Junkertown, that's how they lost. But they haven't been caught off guard. They made the critical adaptation to learn when to count back appropriately because of the sleepers, and that's what is giving that advantage.
Right now, as we go into this fight, it's going to be C just only on the high ground, quickly joined up by their Genji. This high ground, it's held by the defensive team, but they don't look like they're really going to be able to do a whole lot with it. With that, it's just a lot of hope coming in from these teams, but hope tends to favor Sakura, although as I say that, C just does take down Azapek, and now the DPS threat a little bit lessened for the side of the attack. But with that, the trades do come in. It's going to be the long walk for Autocon, but their team manages to hold.
Yeah, they're going to hold on for a fight. However, look at the ultimate charges. Nothing really available for the defense. They can maybe build up the speedy off, building up too quickly with Dynamite, and that's something going to help them. However, Agape has that amplification matrix on them.
Yeah, Speedy takes an early shot, and Nova quick to follow up, making sure that Ashe gets buried into the ground. Once again, it's gonna be the side of We Showed Up on the back foot, and Nova again coming in with these big kills using that dynamite in an incredible way. However, Seta able to get the Earth Shatter, doesn't get caught by the Sigma Shield, but doesn't land on a whole lot either. And with this, it's all but a matter of time. Sakura get that point. Hollywood is theirs after an incredible first point hold.
Yeah, Sakura just going back to that dominance that they showed on the first map we had, which was Lijiang. And I mean, for the Matrix up, there was no ultimates really to counteract it on the defense. I believe that the Sigma for their side of the defense was in Gravitic Flux, so they were unable to use the Kinetic Grasp onto the Amplification Matrix. Nova just throws the Dynamite through there, gets the kills, and secures the map win of Hollywood for Sakura.
Yeah, now I'm wondering if this is just a case of Nova needing to warm up, or if they're genuinely more comfortable and even better on that Ashe, because they were looking like an absolute fiend there. They may have taken 1 or 2 deaths the entire map, but Sakura, you could tell that they were really working to try to help that Ashe player out. However, as we do look ahead into these next games, I'm not quite sure what the next map type is going to be, if my memory serves. My very poor memory, it is going
Assault.
to be Assault. Yes, that's not what my memory would have told me, so thank you, Ocean. But do you think there's any Assault map that really pays off for We Showed Up to get them to that break-even point again?
Hanamura is fantastic for them because they can play that more potent Zenyatta-based composition and try and force themselves onto Sakura and make them feel a bit uncomfortable. That's probably the only map that helps them. Otherwise, Sakura have the advantage of probably Volskaya and Anubis, so not looking great for We Showed Up in this Assault map choice.
Yeah, however, We Showed Up going to have a little bit of a breather here, a little bit of a reprieve, as us and the players in lobby are going to be taking a quick little break. So we'll be heading out here for just a moment, folks, but stick around. We will be right back. Can Sakura bring it out? We'll find out next map. Thank you and welcome back, everybody. Once again, Sakura versus We Showed Up. Sakura up 2-1 in our intermediate upper bracket finals for your casting entertainment. Sir Waltham and Ocean. Ocean, we've had a little bit of time to discuss it. We Showed Up needs to kind of shape up here a little bit, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed with them on Junkertown finding a little bit of an identity for themselves, but they have to be better at playing the stable compositions. They need to be better at playing stably and consistently, because otherwise they're going to fall flat on their face like they did on Hollywood. It was quite embarrassing, that Hollywood map, considering we know their talent, and they showed it on Junkertown. They just need to give it a little bit more beans, and maybe they can bring it back here on Anubis.
Yeah, do you think they're going to have to be kind of wary of Nova's Ash here on this map as much as they were on Hollywood?
I mean, it's another map with high ground, and Ash thrives on the high ground, as does any sort of hit scan. So Nova's definitely DPS to watch out for, especially if they don't want a repeat of what happened on Hollywood, where they kind of just kept running in and dying to that extreme damage from the Ash dynamite. So alterations to be made for the side of We Showed Up.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if they can make those alterations happen in any major capacity as we look forward here. It is going to be Sakura on that defense once again.
Yeah, Sakura now ulting again to go for the defense, so it's definitely their preference. So maybe when they made the decision, when We Showed Up had the choice to go and attack first, and did choose to attack first, maybe that decision to let Sakura be a little bit more comfortable and defend first might have been a little bit of a mistake for them, and might have even had a big impact on our previous hybrid map.
Yeah, I mean, you'd certainly have to wonder as we look forward what dynamic that's going to play. Aspect on this Junkrat, however, going to be a little bit more of an explosive dynamic moving forward, and Nova certainly there to pair well with the Dynamites going in this.
Yeah, this is just going to be really, really difficult for them to even bother to push through the choke. Here on Anubis, always difficult, and especially with the healing they have the Mercy Lucia, they're just going to have to be extremely fast and get right into that backline and maybe pressure Nova a little bit more.
Yeah, it looks like We Showed Up going to be opting for that dive composition to come in here. The question is, can they be explosive enough or displace Sakura enough with that Wrecking Ball? C-Just might really going to have to try to perform here.
And C-Just is the one that holds the key to the door, and he needs to open it.
Yeah, so far not a lot of opening done to immediately set up getting brought dangerously low, however, does have the opportunity to recover here, as it does look like the entirety of We Showed Up able to kind of maintain themselves for the time being. They've forced kind of a weak reposition to come out from Sakura here, but they're all just, all of We Showed Up, that is just kind of huddled up in that high ground, trying to make something happen, but they're forcing Sakura into what might be an uncomfortable position. As this fight continues to go, it's going to be Nova taken down first by Speedy with that Echo. That Echo able to do a lot of damage. As we come in, the res does come through onto that main tank in the Winston, but they need to be very careful. This Junkrat can deal almost as much damage in just as quick a time. The Dragon Blade, however, coming out from Autocon, finding quite a bit of value with it. That's exactly what they needed, and it's looking like that's going to help them secure this point.
Yeah, they managed to keep it all going. They struggled in the opening engagements of that fight, however, they forced the side of Sakura to look a little bit unhinged when they kind of all hid in that room and they did a weird rotation and split up. They forced Sakura to try and look at multiple angles, and they made some mistakes in their rotations and they got caught on it, and eventually Dragon Blade from Autocon cleans it up. Ultimate's online there for the defense, so don't think the snowball is particularly good.
Yeah, it's going to be certainly very tough. We Showed Up kind of looking like they're just prepping the dive for right now. The Wrecking Ball Pile Driver gonna be going in, trying to just build that dislodge a bit, but they have to invest that res early on into Speedy's Echo. That's gonna be very costly. It might be something you want once you have the point firmly in grasp, but not gonna phase Sakura at all.
Yeah, Sakura, again, just being on second point on this whole game just helps them because they like these long and stabilized fights, and especially when you have that respawn advantage, it's definitely gonna help that defense.
It's certainly seeming like it will here. The defense from Sakura gonna be leveling out using that Baptiste amplification field as well as that Junkrat tire. Gonna be locking down this point dive. So treacherous when you're running up against an explosive tire.
Yeah, and again, they managed to maintain their ult advantage and get a little bit of a late stagger onto the opposition Lucio, so they will have Supercharger and Gravitic Flux online, so they could do a cool combination with that. They also have the Bulb, which is good for stalling out fights, making the fights longer as you have that 7th character able to contest the objective and do some damage. So the ultimate advantage again there for the defense, as well as that positional advantage as well. It's what they prefer to do. Take those long fights, draw them out, and put We Shoot Up a little bit down because they like to play that fast style, but you can't play fast and just walk into a brick wall.
Yeah, you certainly can't, but we're going to see the changes coming out wholesale for the side of We Showed Up. They're going to be looking to get that Reaper right into point, just barrel stuff the opposing team. But members already hemorrhaging from the side of We Showed Up. Bob getting thrown in there just to throw a few extra bullets into the mix. And that mix is going to look so tasty for Sakura.
Yeah, they invest the Gravitic Flux and they invest the Bulb. However, they do keep the Supercharger, and that's the critical ultimate for them. That's their biggest ultimate, because not only does it amplify all the damage, it also means that you can charge your ultimates up faster, because how Overwatch works is there's a cost of each ultimate. And you need to build up to that ultimate cost by doing damage or healing. And if you've amplified damage, that means you've amplified ultimate charge. So that means you can get your ultimate a lot faster. So that supercharger is definitely important for the defense. So it'll be interesting to see if Goop can at least use that sound barrier to stop the damage, making a difference, but they won't be able to stop the later on ultimates that come through from Sakura.
Yeah, and Sakura really showing their synergy right now. Sunbun halting into Dynamite and the Asapex Genji dash. With that, we hear that supercharger come online. Asapex hitting it from behind, taking damage, taking their pound of flesh, and getting a Dragon Blade in exchange.
Yeah, as I was pointing out, you use that supercharger and you build the Dragon Blade, you build the Bulb, and you build the rallies. That means you have so many more ultimates for the next fight. And this next fight is going to be look a little bit even, because the support ultimates are online for the offense, so if they can use those correctly, they can get a foothold in the fight and then maybe look for a huge earth shatter from stage then.
We're going to have to see if they can find it here. They're certainly going to be working up a couple of resources against them. The halt coming in once again, the Dynamite Nova going into it. Asapek going to be leading into this hallway, has that Dragon Blade and might just be ready to open up the pain as they have it locked down. But the Reinhardt opening up a lot of space. That's going to enable Autocon to really get in there. And with this, we can hear those Reaper shotguns clapping on point, trying to throw that damage in. However, not enough as Autocon does eventually fall. Speedy, however, avenging them quite a bit. And Nova, now looking a little bit flustered on that Ashe, has to eventually get bailed out by their partner in Asapek, who gets 2 for their Dragon Blade. Does get taken out by Seta. It's looking so good for We Showed Up, but there's not as much gas in the tank as they'd like. And because of this, they're going to eventually lose all their players, and points going to be held by Sakura.
Actually, Asapek cancelled the blade there so often, they couldn't get that sound barrier off that critical support ultimate that they needed to even think about breaking for the Sakura defense, and now they have nothing online apart from maybe the Death Blossom. And they're coming into the Gravitic Flux, they're coming into the Amplification Matrix. It looks like Sakura have this one.
Yeah, they're certainly going to be getting a decent time bank here. Might even go into overtime if We Showed Up isn't expeditious enough. Autocon just trying to get that chip damage, trying to get a little bit closer towards that ultimate. But Asapek's taken down early on means that if they can get on point fast enough, it's looking great for them. And We Showed Up gonna be looking to set up Autocon in the backlines, ready to drop that Death Blossom. Doesn't quite, has a little bit of that patience, drops it eventually though, looks to get 2, Seta cleaning up with a 3rd kill. Nova now having to backpedal towards spawn, not gonna be able to make it. Point progress finally ticking up for We Showed Up. And with that, the question is, can they manage to defeat the stall that's gonna be coming out from the side of Sakura? The ball coming in, the Earth Shatter tries to come out from Seta, doesn't look like it landed on too much, however, Nightmare gonna be taken down in quick fashion. And right now, again, it's gonna be Sakura able to get out in time. Asapek dropping that Dragon Blade, gets 2 off the back end, they clean up everybody off point, they can't finish it!
Yeah, poor cleanup again. Goopy unable to get that sound barrier off Asapek, clutching up for his earlier mistake of getting picked off. We only saw a repeat of Junkertown where Asapek gets a little bit overconfident, gets picked off, and gives a doorway open for the side of We Showed Up. However, Aspect shows up to finish off the fight, make sure that Goopy couldn't get that Soundbarrier off twice. Goopy killed by the Dragon Blade either during Soundbarrier or while they had Soundbarrier, which means that critical support ultimate that the offense needed was completely just limited and gone the entire round. And Sakura look really commanding in this series and definitely could just finish it off here on Anubis.
All right, I'm going to put you in the uncomfortable position here, Ocean, of do you think that is on Goopy or their team for not having their back? Because Goopy absolutely could have helped out a lot of those fights with the sound barrier.
Goopy. I'm going to be honest. Goopy's looked really poor this series, especially in the first map. Lijiang, especially Garden, got caught out way too much, died 3 times in that critical last fight. And here again, making a lot of mistakes on the Lucio, unable to use that Soundbarrier 3 fights in a row, and in that last fight just didn't get it off. So, poor from the Lucio player, and they're going to see a little bit of a different look from Goopy, who looked great on the Zenyatta on Junket Sound, but now on the Zenyatta, on the Brigitte, didn't look comfortable on the Brigitte, on the Lucio, as I was saying, and that might have to improve. That's a little bit of a weak point for where he showed up. However, they have looked pretty strong with their DPS lineup.
Yeah, and now they are going to be on that defense, Sakura. Leaning in a little bit with Nova on that Sombra, not against it, but we'll have to see if they can find the scouting or the recon value. Nova looks like they're going to be sticking on it, not just for the scout. And with this now, this is a very distracting composition for the side of We Showed Up. They don't look like they want to direct their attention in any direction, and Autocon's going to be taken out because of it. That Winston comes in and absolutely stomps on that Genji. And now if you're on the side of We Showed Up, suddenly you're not thinking this is too good of a look. It's gonna be tough. They need to start getting these kills in, but Sunbun gets rezzed, making their man advantage even that much more dire. And with this, the massive cleave does come in. Sunbun managing to force back the We Showed Up squad. And now it's just a matter of time if We Showed Up can't make something explosive happen. Doesn't look like it's gonna be the case though.
Yeah, just this Sombra composition is such a good idea because not only can you isolate an individual target and get that pick that you need for the first point, because usually the respawn advantage for the attackers is so great in the first point, just one pick can be enough. But on the defense, on the second point, you can just set up for a huge EMP combo, especially when you know your win condition. You've got the EMP, you've got the self-destruct, you've got so many other resources, and I think as soon as they build that EMP, it's go time for the offense in Sakura.
Yeah, but now it's looking like We Showed Up going to be fishing a little bit. See just taking down Agape with that hook coming in off the back setup. They're going for a halt hook combo here. I like the looks of this, but we'll see if it performs.
So what they're using here is a halt hook pick based composition. So what they're going to look to do is they're going to look for consistent halt hooks so they can whittle down the time bank a little bit for the offense, which means they might only get one chance at this EMP fight.
Yeah, as we see Nova creeping around, can absolutely put an end to this halt hook combination potential by coming in and hacking that hog. The EMP coming in lands on just one. It's just C-Just who's taken down by that Diva Bomb off the back end. And with that, Autocon bringing out the high noon, gets taken down, or the barrier gets taken down, but able to get the D-Mech onto Diva as well. And right now, it's looking like the attackers in a little bit of a favorable position, but they need to be in more favorable of a position if they want to get this point before the respawns come in. And it's looked like with Sunbun dropping, that might not be plausible here. Nightmare does get remexed, but you gotta wonder, is that worth it? We Showed Up continues to be a pest with Speedy on this Tracer, really trying to focus down. Autocon takes down Aspect, and now the numbers aren't looking great for Sakura. They needed to get some progress here. They didn't. And for that, they're going to be sent packing.
Yeah, that's a first opportunity at the EMP fight. And they will have another one. Nova's already at 30% of the EMP, so they've got another one. They kind of screwed up the EMP. They only got one member. They did get a kill, which can be enough to win some team fights. But now they're going to go back over to this Orisa Sigma, play a little bit more of a stable composition. You have more defensive utility, and they're going to play towards winning with Dragon Blade. In particular Nano Blade, because they have the Honor as well. So now their win condition is shifted. It's not just the EMP, they have the Nano Blade combination as well. So looks like they're setting up for a couple different win conditions that might make We Should have to think a little bit more about where they put their resources, especially near the end of fights.
Yeah, we showed up absolutely gonna have to keep an eye out. Every single one of those ultimates gonna pair up well with Asapex because of that. You think they're just gonna lean into that ult economy, but Asapex takes down Speedy early. They may not need just the ults here. The deflex trying to come out from the Genji, but not gonna find much. Autocon a little too smart for that. Does take down Nightmare with that high noon. A little too sharp for that, it seems. And with this, fight's looking fairly good for We Showed Up. Speedy taking a little bit of a nap. Gets that recall forced out. The post mine goes out, but Sunbun quick to react. Has the nano, has the fortified, I do believe. EMP came out, cleaned up the point. Dragon Blade getting dropped. It's all for Sakura. They're going to take it in a nice, neat 3-1.
Yeah, we talked about how they were setting up for that Dragon Blade. They throw in their Supercharger, they throw in the Nanomaze, they throw in their Dragon Blade, and that fight is done. They set up for their win condition perfectly. Not the most clean fight, but eventually it's all about the win condition, and their win condition was perfect, and they take the series 3-1. They look spectacular so far, and they will move on to our intermediate grand finals. We Showed Up, moved on to losers bracket, and still have time to redeem themselves.
Yeah, a little bit of time for redemption, but I gotta tip my hat. I was not expecting the ult build up to come in that quick for Sakura. They proved me wrong, and for that, they're gonna take it 3 points up in this. I mean, they get the win off the back end, so you really gotta like that. We Showed Up, I think, had moments of gold, although you kind of have to comment on the support lineup for them. It just did not feel as good as we saw kind of coming in from Sakura.
Yeah, so we kind of had a look at that after the first round of Anubis, but yeah,
Mhm.
Sakura's support line was just better by a long ways. They look so much more comfortable in these more stabilized compositions. They look a lot more flexible. Agape looked really strong on Mercy and Baptiste. Wong Austin just looked fantastic all series on. Probably my MVP on the Ana, which was able to utilize the Genji win condition at the end. On the Ana, that was able to heal up their team a little bit more than the Lucio on Garden. On the break, that was so consistent for Hollywood and Junkertown that was able to help them kite back despite not having the additional speed boost of a Lucio because of that critical whip shot ability. That was the difference in this series. We Showed Up struggle with their Lucio compositions on Lijiang and again on Hollywood and Anubis, and that was a big difference in this series.
Yeah, I certainly can't disagree with that. However, folks, if you thought that was a good nail-biting game between Sakura and We Showed Up, we've got another one coming up for you. The beginner grand final is going to be coming up here right after a short break, so stick around because you're not going to want to miss it.